So we got those two topics. So now, which one of those two do you prefer?
Why don't we start with foreign policy, actually? Why not? I could venture on a territory that I'm not supposed to venture on, but I'm going to do it anyway. It sounds like fun. Go for it.
Okay, well, we're here with Niger Innis, and he's an adventuresome sort of guy, as he just mentioned. And I'll tell you, he'll give you a good interview, and he'll tell you what he sincerely believes, because we already know that from past experience. So that's all we can ask, for people to share their views frankly and honestly, and that's all we care about. Now, in foreign policy, I think the main topic, the most important thing in foreign policy is when you go to war, that's the main thing. Like everything else is small potatoes compared to that. So
well, it's funny. Zinke, Secretary Zinke of the Interior, outstanding secretary. He was on with another great secretary. Ariana.
Perry?
Secretary Perry of Energy. Another great secretary. They had an interesting dialogue because they were actually talking about when you go to war. Perry was doing it in somewhat of a poetic way. But Zinke said it straightforward. He said, we have to engage in battle and in war when we can pay for it. Wow. So if you don't have an economy that is humming on all cylinders and you have responsibilities around the world for the military, that is a picture that's not going to work. And I know a lot of conservatives were very upset that the sequester ended. Not upset, sorry, pleased that the sequester ended. And I understand why, and I certainly do not want to shortchange our brave men and women overseas, not one nickel, not one dime, not one penny. But having said that, what resonated with me was what Secretary Zinke says, that you cannot engage in battle and in war if you don't have the money to pay for the military that you have.
Well, I agree with that point, and obviously that's a basic point, but the question I would like you to focus on is, do you have a principle that permits you, Niger Innis, to decide, I think in this case we should go to war, or I think in this case we shouldn't? So I want to know, do you have a principle?
That's a tough one, okay? Because it's obviously, I don't know that even if you come up with a particular principle, there could be nuances to that particular principle from time to time. But in general, I am very hesitant to use American blood and treasure, which I see as precious. And for me, if our direct national security interests are at stake, or if a vital alliance or ally of ours is at stake, then yes, we will need to, well, of course, and I would first want to exercise our tremendous diplomatic power or soft power. I would want to exercise our tremendous economic power. I would hope at some point that we can either balance the establishment media that we have within our country so that there's at least a portion of the media within the establishment that is broadcasting around the world that are full of patriots, in addition to those that would cheer the North Korean dictator's sister, okay? They exist, we know they exist, okay? I don't think they know how much they undermine American interests and make military intervention possible with the kind of nonsense and propaganda that they promote. So, I'm not dancing around your question. It's just that I'm saying that I am very careful at pulling the trigger because I want to know what the mission is. I want to know what the planned exit date is for our engagement. What is the plan? What is the strategy? Or do we plan on being in parts of the world? You know, we are in Iraq, we are in Afghanistan, we are still in North Korea, we are still in Germany, okay, and other parts of the world. There are those that are very anxious for us to engage in Syria.
Yeah, we have about 100 bases, I think, around the world.
We do, but not all those bases are necessarily, well, not all the bases are North Korea or the 51st parallel. You know,
I agree. They're not all the same danger. But let me try to focus exactly what I'm interested in, because I think you have mentioned quite a